Welcome to our short video about the Key Stage 1 tests. The children in Year 2 will be taking the tests at some point during May this year. These are not like tests that you'll remember from your exams at sixth form or GCSE, but rather are taken in the classroom in a familiar environment with a familiar teacher. Often they'll be taken in small groups, although some parts may be done as a whole class, and they help to contribute towards the teacher's assessment of your child's progress by the end of Key Stage 1. They shouldn't be concerned about them, and indeed in some cases they might not even realise the test has happened. During the course of the month, they'll have a test of reading, mathematics, and spelling, punctuation and grammar. The reading test is made up of 2 test papers, the first of which will last for approximately 30 minutes. None of the tests are strictly timed at Key Stage 1. The test is likely to include some non-fiction and fiction texts. The children will be asked to read some of the texts and then to answer straightforward questions about them, some of which will be multiple choice as shown here, or they'll be requested to write in a short answer. Your child's teacher may choose to break up the test into smaller chunks of time if they find the reading arduous. Some of the later questions in the paper ask your child to make inferences about what they've read, and they can use the information they've read in their text to help them with their answers. Most children will sit a second reading paper, which contains slightly longer and more challenging texts, and these are presented in a separate booklet, with questions asked separately. Throughout the test, children will be able to refer back to the booklet that they've read. Again, there are likely to be some fiction and non-fiction texts. And questions will focus on the 2 main areas of Key Stage 1 reading, explaining their understanding of the words they've read and retrieving information from the text. The spelling test will consist of 20 words drawn from the Key Stage 1 curriculum. These words will be read as part of a sentence by your child's familiar class teacher, and they have to write the correct spelling in the gap on the sheet. The words become increasingly difficult, starting with words that follow familiar patterns such as faster in the first example here. Spellings towards the end of the test require children to learn the rules, such as, in this case, knowing the plural of teddies, where we change Y to IES. The grammar test lasts for approximately 20 minutes and will test your child's knowledge of various aspects of grammar such as word classes and sentence punctuation. For example, in this question, children are asked to identify the verbs in the sentence. Later questions may ask children to write a short sentence using the correct punctuation. The results of the grammar and spelling tests together are used by teachers to help judge progress and attainment in writing in Key Stage 1. For mathematics, there are 2 tests, the first of which is an arithmetic test lasting approximately 20 minutes. In the arithmetic test, children are presented with calculations without any context or story, and some space to carry out any workings out if they wish. Some of these questions will rely on children's knowledge of basic number facts. Later questions will include division and some fractions work towards the end of the paper. The second of the tests is a reasoning paper. This test lasts for approximately 35 minutes. And each of the questions is presented with a context, often accompanied by a drawing or diagram. In these questions, occasionally children are asked to tick, select a box, or write a short answer. In later questions, they may be asked to carry out some straightforward calculations based on what they've learned in Key Stage 1. In some cases, questions may be worth 2 marks, so while they might use the correct method, if they make a small mistake in the calculation, they can still get some credit. After marking the tests in school, teachers will be provided with a chart which indicates a conversion scale, and scores are converted such that a score of 100 represents the expected standard for Key Stage 1. Higher attaining children may get a higher score, while those who are struggling to reach the expected standard will have a slightly lower one. At the end of the year, when presenting reports to parents, Your child's school will let you know whether or not your child is working at the expected standard for their age. They may also provide the scaled score data. Parents will of course want to help their children in preparation for the tests. You can do this by supporting any work that your child brings home from school, by reading with them regularly, and by practicing some key facts such as the addition and subtraction facts or number bonds to 10 and 20. Most importantly though, you shouldn't need to worry about the tests. They're there to help teachers to make judgments about your child's progress. We don't want parents or children to be concerned. As always, if you or your child do have any questions about the test, do speak to their class teacher. Thank you for watching.